Hey there guys, this is my first video. My name's Mike. I'll be discussing a variety of topics such as wrestling, movies, video games, music. I'm huge into music. I had the pleasure of going to two hymn concerts. In case of you who don't know that band, they are a Finnish band from Helsinki, the capital, and they stand for His Infernal Majesty. They consider their genre of love metal. They're gothic, but and dark, but at the same time they sing about heartfelt, meaningful lyrics, and you know, a true poet is really what a songwriter is. They are a poet who verbally uses that poetry in their music by means of singing it. And it's the best form of therapy you'll ever find. Just like that, you know, people can connect with music, millions of people, in a matter of minutes, and that will, you know, make up for or compensate for whatever negative feelings they're having that day. Um, this is my first video. I've debated for a while now about making YouTube videos or not. Is it a waste of time or whatever? Are people gonna find me interesting? Uh, there's so many videos out there to compete with. But this is pretty much for my own experience and entertainment and getting used to what it's like to communicate through a webcam with others. So I like to call this my bedside chat, which doesn't take place always at night. I'm just usually in my bed because it's a comfortable location. As you can see here, I have my TV right there at the end of my bed. You can see my big Jeff Hardy poster back there. You can see my Stone Cold Andre the Giant. I got a whole variety of things, so I am, I guess, a nerd or whatever it is you want to call me when it comes to wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan since 2003. Last night I went to Rutherford and I met Jake the Snake, and I met Kevin Nash, which were two big names who I really wanted to meet, who I haven't met before. Luckily I still had a chance to meet Punk when he was in WWE. I met him twice. I'm looking forward to his UFC fights. I'm not really sure what to think. I know he has a very large variety of mixed martial arts experience, so that should be a huge plus. I know they say size doesn't matter, the whole David Goliath thing, and you've seen Punk, his strength. He could pick up Brock Lesnar, John Cena, you know, heavy, like, muscular people who weigh a lot more than he does on his shoulders and stuff like that. When it comes to the octagon, I'm not so sure if his size is going to be an advantage, disadvantage. I know he'll be agile. He's really talented. He's a great speaker. I hope one day when he retires from sports completely that he'll be a commentator, because I just love listening to the guy speak. Even if he was speaking about, you know, like toilet paper or you know, like wallpaper for like an hour, it would be interesting coming from him. So speaking of wrestling, I just recently picked up the WWE 2K15 for the PS4. Now, I personally think it's a good game. Every game, just like everything else in life, has its perks, and it definitely also has room for improvement. I think people are too hard on video games nowadays because of the advanced technology and the hype that they show the video game to be in commercials. There are parts missing, but downloadable content has just been coming out. They got the WCW thing out. They got the Hulk Hogan thing out. So I'm really excited for that. I'm loving the PS4. I'm glad I chose it, even though I've heard a lot of Xbox One uh, favorites um, when it comes to picking between the two consoles. I've had Microsoft uh, consoles, Xbox, and whatever since it first started out because of the whole Halo thing, and I had to have my friends over during high school to play that. But now this is my first Sony gaming platform system, my first PlayStation ever. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm just wondering why it was $700 when it first came out, and now it's about like equal in price with the Xbox One. Um, Something that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me is that you can't play PS3 games on the PS4, but you can play PS3 games. Well, let me rephrase that. You can't play PS3 games with a disc on the PS4, but you can play PS3 games on the PS4 through their store, which I don't really understand because there's a lot of great games out there right now that are really cheap, and I want to start a collection of games that I really enjoy playing. Um, Games are so expensive nowadays, like $60, stuff like that. Um, but considering the amount of time the developers put into making the game and all of that, I'd probably charge that amount too if I was a creator. Uh, Maybe $40 I think is more reasonable. Um, but I mean, yeah, I had to refuse um, for a while, because it was always all about Halo, and I'd have my Halo parties in high school and stuff, and I'm past that. I'm sick of Halo. I want to move on to new fun things like Sonic and Rayman and all the old school classics. I think the N64 will always be the best console there is. They weren't focused on, you know, advanced graphics and technology as they were on making the games fun. Super Mario 64, one of the first games I played, was just a blast. You could still put it on today and have loads of fun. And the graphics are uh, they're really not terrible. They're pretty good, but I mean obviously not as good as today's, but the game itself is fun, and that's the objective. And if you can incorporate that with the graphics, then kudos to you. Uh, so I wanted to know what people's feedback was on WWE 2K15, um, and why the PS4 was so much more expensive than the Xbox One when it came out. I'm a little confused about that, but luckily now I waited and I have it for uh, the same price that the Xbox One is going for, which I think is like around 350 or 400 or something. No, maybe even less, 350 or less than that. But you name it, whatever you want to talk about, wrestling. I'm a huge fan. The network is great. It's ridiculous how much they've had to advertise it in order for people to subscribe. Um, I also wanted to talk about music, because music is my life. Um, and I just recently got the iPod Touch, the 32 gigabyte one, yesterday. It was the second to last one in the store. It was the biggest seller. I got it from my mom for Christmas. With the holiday season coming around, it's a 32 gigabyte one, silver, and I want to know if any of you have the iPod Touch and what you think about it. It's a shame they stopped making the classic, uh, which I am still lucky to have. The dinosaurs of iPods, whopping 40,000 songs. So, some people think it's ridiculous that there's that many songs that an iPod can hold. I personally don't. I don't think you ever can get enough of music. They're coming out with new music every single day, and there's so much old stuff that's just being dug up now, that there is to appreciate, or that you haven't heard, that you've just first heard. Uh, Even if you were around, back in the 70s, like my parents were, they're they're hearing things now that are coming out because of technology that they weren't able to hear back then when it was going on. So this is my bedroom chat, bedroom side chat. Um, it's not a nightly chat just because I'm in my bed. Like I said, I am comfortable in the bed. And any negative comments or insults will be ignored. I will not entertain your cruelty. If you really need that much of stimulus to entertain yourself by going out and criticizing somebody on the internet and being a quote-unquote troll, that's pretty pathetic, and you will not be responded to. I will not entertain you. I will not answer you. In some cases, if it goes too far, I will block you. So it's pretty obvious when people are trolling. Sometimes it can be a little confusing. I understand that, we all have different opinions. You're not gonna like or agree with some of the stuff I say, and then others of you will agree, and hopefully then we could have a good, you know, intellectual conversation about the topic, and further each other's benefits on learning more about whatever the topic of interest is. So, like I said, whatever it is, this is my first video. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is just like my in my opinion, this is the 21st century version of journalism, with the video, visuals, and auditory. It's a lot quicker. You get a lot more people to see it fast within the second it's up, which is great. So whatever you want to talk about for my next video, my name is Mike, in case I haven't already said that. I'm 24. Post below, and I will get to that topic, and hopefully we will have a good discussion about it. Okay, till then.